Thousands of people angry right now about proposed pension reform in France. They were rallying in Paris today.
Yeah, this is the fifth day of demonstrations since the start of the year, with more strikes still planned. Demonstrators are slamming the government for wanting to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. President Macron argues that it is necessary to save the pension program, but unions argue that there are other ways, like taxing the ultra-rich or having employers contribute more.
CBS News correspondent Elaine Cobbe joins us now from Paris with more on this. Elaine, it's understandable for older Parisians and older folks in France who may be close to retirement and don't want to have to work more years, but where does the pension reform legislation actually stand right now in Parliament?
Errol, it's being debated in Parliament at the moment, and in fact the debate is due to end tomorrow in the National Assembly. Today they were talking about the very thorny issue of raising that minimum retirement age from 62 to 64, because people are saying, look, now I have to work longer. So they're not happy about that. But there are other issues involved too, such as that goes hand in hand with an increase of how long you have to work in order to get the full pension. They want to raise that from 40 to 42 to 44 years. And so anyone who started working early is very unhappy. People who missed out on years along the way, or who studied and then started working in their mid-20s, will have to work longer. So there are a lot of people that are very unhappy about it. Now, after this session at the National Assembly, which has been very lively, with a lot of amendments tabled by the opposition parties, it will go on to the Senate, and that's due at the end of this month, with a vote there likely sometime in early March.
Elaine, we're being told that today's strike was not as large or disruptive than the last few. What do you make of that?
It was definitely a lot less, Lana. In Paris, most of the commuter traffic was absolutely normal, the transport systems running as they would any other day, 50% of trains around the country, and the demonstrations around the country garnered people in the tens of thousands rather than the hundreds of thousands that the unions had hoped for. Partly now it's because it's the school holidays in certain parts of France, and that will continue for the next month because it's staggered across France. It's also a bit of strike fatigue. People are saying, you know, I've been out. Do I really want to keep going out every day? But there are still many people who say, look, I want to turn up, including people who are already retired, who are saying, look, it's not fair on the people coming up now, particularly retired women who've said, really, women who stopped to have children and stopped working for a while are still being penalised. And that's something that had been promised in the initial promises about reforms, and yet it's just not happening. In fact, many mothers are saying they are going to have to work even more than they would have had before the reforms.
All right, Elaine Cobbe, thank you.
Thank you, Elaine.